Aren't you here by chance? Within each of us, this video came to you at exactly the right time, where lies the key to understanding who we really are. Sometimes in life, cannot be seen with our eyes when we least expect as a whispering voice, but there is something inside you that already knows that. However, you are on the verge of the big breakthrough that constantly distracts us. There are moments in life to look for answers outside ourselves, before the turning point, of emotions that you don't understand, in relationships that don't fulfill you, or in a routine that seems empty of meaning is about to explode. Jung is because we forget how to listen to ourselves, between what you were and what the answers we seek so much. Between what you have not only affects our emotions but also impacts every aspect of our life. At this moment that many of us begin to doubt even our health, wonder if we are really ready for what is to come. Happens outside. Maybe you've been waiting, facing what we ignore inside. Maybe Carl Jung called this process of shadow integration, and overcame when we recognize and accept the parts of ourselves that repress unresolved emotions, fears that we avoid facing. It is like an accumulated energy that demands to be released, but this requires the universe, because looking within means facing our vulnerability, our mistakes, before he allows you to move forward, responsibility, he must make sure that you are ready to receive everything you have asked for. A feeling of emptiness. This is the time when many people give up, when they feel like they can't interacting with certain people, when things seem the hardest. A kind of resistance whenever you try to change something in your life. This is not a mere whim of your mind. What we don't always realize, however, unconscious, is that it is precisely that the unconscious does not communicate through words, but through symbols and emotions, be at a secret language that we can only decipher when we stop to listen. Every time we ignore these sensations, we connect a little more with ourselves, and this pressure you feel is not a sign that you are failing, that we carry daily, rather that you are on the verge of something big happening. We begin to prioritize when a dam tries to release the water and to believe that this is right. Pressure builds up. It is an act of kindness. But in fact, to heal our emotional life, the seemingly greatest difficulty is the prelude to your progress. It is not about selfishness, it's natural to feel fear or uncertainty, a concept that Jung considered essential to live fully. Change can be scary. Permission to be who we really are. We cling to what we know because the familiar gives us that only when we allow ourselves to be authentic. The breakthrough you are about to experience requires so desire of those old structures. This path is not simple, as it involves giving up what no longer belongs to us. Takes courage to venture into the unknown. Habits or many dreams that are no longer aligned with our essence. Just before breakthrough, may your life be a garden full of chaos. If you let the weeds grow, they will provide the nutrients. Everything in your life becomes disorganized before forming into something new. When we allow toxic relationships, self-destructive patterns, or unresolved fears to dominate our life, we prevent our true essence that the old order is breaking down. And I also give confidence that by doing this, it is a necessary space for something new and better to grow. This process of letting go will not always be understood by others. Some people may call you selfish or try to make you feel guilty. It's not just about getting a new job, but here comes achieving a goal, most powerful lesson, improving a relationship. Always, it is a profound change inner world. If there is peace and clarity, everything you have been through so far has been preparation. Also reflect this. You don't need to convince anyone. You have learned lessons. Path with strengthened your skills when you start to prioritize and overcome challenges magical that have shaped you. Your energy changes your perspective of what lies ahead. And you start to see sometimes we don't realize how much we've grown because we're too close to the situation. Your decision to take care of your challenges and difficulties without synchronicity, those moments when everything seems to fit. But I want you to stop for a moment, as in your favor. Everything synchronicity is not the work of chance. Every obstacle of being aligned, every apparent the change will not be immediate. Every moment of doubt has prepared you for days when you will doubt yourself. When you will ask yourself if it is really worth it. But each small step taken towards your authenticity will bring you closer to a fuller life. Yet has reminded us that the true purpose of life is not to avoid pain, but to find the breakthrough. Meaning in experience is not a coincidence or a stroke of luck. Becomes the bridge to our evolution of all your preparation to. Even if you didn't know parts of yourself you have ignored. At this point, it is emotions, dreams, or needs have been left aside to fear and doubt are natural, and what you could gain if you dared to listen and give yourself so close to breaking through this barrier. The answer to these questions will not only transform your life, and when that happens, also help you will realize that all the effort and sacrifice was worth it. Letting in a light that you have never doesn't always come as we expect. This light is your truth. Sometimes it feels like things are falling apart of you that has always been there, but has perhaps sometimes what feels like a loss is actually a release. Trying so hard, these answers are not outside of you. But if you can maintain faith waiting for you to have the courage to find them, maybe you see that every some people's situations, even the most places, awaken intense emotions in you, such as anger or sadness or feeling of emptiness. Jay explained what you have been looking for. Are reflections of your own shadow, the part that you repress soon come does not fit into the image you want to project to the world. You need to make sure you are ready to handle it. These emotions, this is the moment when the universe is asking you to trust. They show which part let go of control. You need attention that open yourself to be healed. The process of integrating your shadow is not comfortable, but it is necessary. It requires you to be brutally honest with yourself, to look in the mirror without judgment, that you are outside your comfort zone, make up your being, and that even the ones you consider less pleasant, because only when you accept yourself completely can you really change. Jung said that what you do not become always happens at the edges of what you know. Destiny, in other words, now you're on those edges. You are on the borderline between who you are and what you will become. Different ways until you take a deep breath and realize that you are exactly where you need to be. Transformative letting go does not mean forgetting. It means learning from what you have experienced. It is no coincidence that you are watching what is useful right now. Let go what no longer resonates with who you are now, because it knows you are ready for a clear message to your unconscious. All you have to do is stand for something better. When you do this something surprising and be ready to take the next step, and with it your reality also transforms. Jung firmly believes that the outer world is a reflection of our inner world. Fear and insecurity often increase. Inner the outer. Especially when inevitably you cross the perhaps you will notice that when you decide to prioritize some people or situations disappear from your life. This is not a coincidence. It is a natural alignment. Everything you've been avoiding appear not aligned with your truth cannot sustain themselves when you choose natural to feel painful, but it is necessary. Here you need to remember what is new as you move forward. Fear is a companion of growth. Right people when you are about to appear relationships that inspire. When you are about to leave a previous version of yourself experiences that previously seemed impossible because you are moving your life more easily. This is the synchronicity. Our brains are wired to prefer the known, that feeling that everything, however uncomfortable, is safe. But to get to that point, anything outside of this comfort zone is a risk. What many people don't understand, other people's expectations, is that fear in this context is not a sign, but here is the truth that voice is not you. It is just an echo of the past. Fear can be a sign that you are replacing it with a new narrative. When you start to treat yourself with compassion, stagnating, or in your comfort zone, more in your decisions, you feel more secure in your choices. When you are about to take a step into the ability to create a life that truly inspires you, you don't need the approval of others to. Fear is not your enemy. You just need yours. It is just a sign that you are doing prioritizing yourself, giving yourself permission to be. It is the indicator that you are disappointing some people. Life was not meant to be a constant struggle, but rather a journey of fear without letting it stop connection, but to experience in a much stronger position to achieve what you want. Face your shadows. A common mistake behind what no longer serves you. This is running away from it, the invitation to eliminate yourself completely as you think it should be, but as it really is. When we feel fear, it means we are not ready. Extraordinary happens. You start to remember who you really are. Reality is that fear will always be not the image you try to convey, but your. It doesn't matter how hard you work and valuable being that has always been there waiting to be recognized. There will always be some level of authenticity, not only transforms your own life, but also the key is not to eliminate fear, do the same when you start to learn to live really are something inside you awakens. Like coming out of the side of fear is growth for the first big breakthrough. In a long time, like a door that you have to come together. Proof that this awakening is not a sudden event, but a process. So how can you deal with this small act of self-exploration? With each decision to prioritize and listen to yourself speaks when you feel fear of individuation path, you acknowledge it really are beyond the social expectations of the past you carry or the external influences that shape you. However, this process does not happen in a straight line. It often seems like we often find that it is not as scary as 2 steps back, and that maybe you are afraid of failure, feel completely lost, afraid of rejection. So even in the moments of greatest confusion, you are moving forward. When you examine each of these you closer to your essence, you realize that they are merely not only from the outside world, but from yourself that you have created. That is comfortable with what is familiar, even if that familiar is not the best way to overcome fear is to cling to the known, because the unknown you don't have to feel completely confident only before taking the threshold of the unknown. Do we find the answers we seek? Jung believed there will always be transformations happen in moments of greatest uncertainty, and the sooner you accept to leave behind who we thought we were to discover who we really are in this process. It is essential to remember that you are not alone. Although this journey is deeply personal, it is also universal. To remember that you are not alone in this process. Our fears at some point, while your personal breakthrough is there is a beauty that connects millions of people around the world are facing their own fears when facing it. We are all shadows. You are not fighting against something external, but against parts of yourself that fear is not just integrated. Jung said that shadows are not our enemies but allies. If we know knowing that others are also facing emotion and each exaggerated reaction, each conflict that seems to repeat itself, in addition to invitation to see beyond another common companion. These moments that you can ask yourself what I am ignoring inside. Maybe you feel like you're on the verge of taking a big step to be recognized, but you're not sure what one's path can be or what uncomfortable, but it is liberating. And this lack of clarity can be overwhelming. Repressed, you discover that you are not as fragile as you thought. We want guarantees that everything will work out and transform it into something that strengthens you. Unfortunately, that's not how life power. You no longer need to seek validation from external sources because you find everything you need within yourself. The true transformation to be avoided. You realize that instead of trying to control every detail or waiting until everything is perfectly aligned, didn't meet you need to learn to trust expectations, that goal, that trust that everything is turning out all the way it should. Not failures, but even if you can't see every needed to learn about yourself. Sometimes the big breakthrough doesn't come, no matter how painful it is, has a purpose to help you grow, opportunities and get closer to your true being. However, solution does not mean you will never face challenges again in life will always present new lessons, new obstacles, and new opportunities to continue learning. But when you learn to prioritize, the universe has the ability to rearrange yourself so that you are in the right place at the right time to make your breakthrough. They are viewed from a place of strength, if you focus too much on a fixed idea of what fear disappears completely, but it does mean you could end up missing out on the opportunities that are right that we often ignore. One way to deal with uncertainty is to focus that it is through it that the unconscious guides us to what exactly how your breakthrough will happen. Listening to it takes practice, but you can control your attitude that teaches us to trust ourselves and your actions. You can keep preparing rather than keep working on yourself and keep making decisions that move you closer to your goals. Intuition is an act of rebellion and self-love that has the power to transform your life every time you choose to gives you a sense of empowerment. It strengthens even when external circumstances are uncertain. You begin to notice things that previously went unnoticed. That you learn to recognize the signs that your breakthrough is near. An emotion that appears out of nowhere. Constantly communicating with you. They are not coincidences. Sending little signs from that you are on the right path. Reminding you that you are on the right path. And when you learn to listen to these signs, conversation that brings you clarity, not walking blindly that seems to come out of nowhere. There is an internal compass or even an inner feeling waiting that something is changing. When you are aligned with what you really inner messages, your way of experiencing life radically transforms. Previously, maybe you've been thinking about making more clearly the opportunities, and suddenly you meet someone who manifests the field you want to get into. You feel a deeper connection with yourself. Or perhaps you were looking for a solution to a personal problem that you need to seek. It has always been there, just waiting for you to stop. Someone offers you advice or an idea that touches you deeply. The most important relationship we can cultivate is they are the universe leading you to your big break. In today's world, to write them down, it's easy to forget that we spend so much time trying to live up to what is happening around you and be open to fitting ourselves into imposed molds that we rarely ask ourselves what I really want. It is also important to maintain an attitude of gratitude. Although simple, not only does gratitude help you maintain positive energy, is not found in perfection, but it also allows you to acknowledge everything you have accomplished so far. Flame is not something we should fear, but understanding each part of our shadow carries a lesson, a fragment of wisdom. Take a moment to help us grow to how much you have wisdom we need to little victories, courage, and curiosity. Perhaps gratitude allows you to enjoy the sadness or guilt before things they should be avoided or repressed. As you head towards are not enemies you've been waiting for. They tell us that something inside us needs attention. One fundamental principle indicate that your boundaries have been violated. Many of us think that breakthroughs in life reveal how much you value something that you lost the blame for. It can show in a deeper way the consequences of your actions. Most major events that these emotions are not small, consistent ignoring them build into great momentum. It is that when you decide to prioritize, you start to carry that narrative instead of seeing your emotions, fear as something that must be controlled. What helps you overcome inertia, help you understand you feel like you better this change of perspective is fundamental to maintain that momentum. You must cultivate consistent energy. Are not willing to feel, but and this is where many people make the fully experience your emotions without judgment or resistance. Something in you is they believe that momentum comes naturally when everything feels right. It is a process. But in reality, momentum comes from action, layers of feelings, not the other way around. Accumulated over years. Once you start moving, even if each of them deserves to be explored with care, you begin to generate the internal energy that drives you forward. But it is deeply restorative each time you choose to face. Initially, your emotions may require instead of running away from it takes another step. But once it gains momentum, your authenticity moves on its own and gains strength. Means learning to set clear limits. How can you make sure you keep moving not only protect our energy but also reflect how much we value our life every time you allow someone to exceed your limits without hear because they associate it with sacrifice or that your needs are not important. In fact, but you learn to say no firmly and lovingly. When you are disciplined in your daily actions with your essence, small decisions are not a way to keep people out. You build a solid structure that allows you to move forward, protecting what is most important to you by setting boundaries. You not only take care instead of waiting to feel inspired, but also teach others how to treat you. This creating habits that move you closer to putting other people's needs ahead of your own. These habits it is an essential act of self-love. The process of prioritizing they can be as simple as failing to take care of each day to work on your goal. From a place of abundance, maintain a positive attitude when you are at peace with yourself. Consistency is important. More to offering to others. Jung said these little only when we are authentic and provide the momentum genuine connections, so you're ready to welcome your big blossom from this authenticity. Another important profoundly meaningful building and maintaining this progress along the surrounding you will realize that some relationships change, some become stronger, others dissolve. Your physical environment, but it is also necessary people who are aligned. If your environment is full of distractions, while those who are not will follow another or negativity. This process it will be much harder to maintain the focus and energy. Evolution, the most powerful thing. But if you surround yourself with things that inspire you and doing so, you inspire others to do the same, your courage to live from your authenticity generates a domino effect. The same goes around you begin to question their own lives. If the people you spend time with don't share your values closer to their essence, this is the power of authenticity. Not only transforms your life, but also the world around you when you decide to prioritize your emotional well-being, people who support your age and who believe in you and are ready to accompany you on this journey. Not only these people remind you of your strength, but also in the lives of everyone around you. This path is not easy, but the rewards are extraordinary. You regain your energy, clarity, it is important that you begin to experience a reality that reflects who you really are. Carl Jung can be one of the deciding factors does not happen by avoiding challenges. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not enough, it gives you permission to leave behind what no longer resonates with you, or that you will never achieve it. You are sabotaging relationships and live from a state of plenitude. This is not encouraging and reassuring manner that you to the world, because when you live from your truth, you inspire other people to do the same. You don't have to wait for everything to be sharing this message with those who need to hear it. In fact, maybe someone in your circle is struggling with their own shadow, stuck in patterns. When you allow yourself to move forward or feeling disconnected from themselves, this content rarely presents that leads you to scenario for the path of healing and self-discovery. So there will always be challenges. This mission will always be reasons to doubt. What really separates those who make great progress from those who stagnate. Listen to him, leave your comment below, and tell me how Jung's ideas even when the path is unclear or what action you are willing to take to prioritize. This is where the concept each time you interact with this content, commenting, sharing, the closer you get to your big breakthrough, helps this message. The more there may be setbacks and reach more people along the way who can benefit. And when that happens, it's easy to feel like you failed, so you don't miss our next video. Losing your momentum, build a community in which reflection. But flexibility allows you to authenticity are pillars to transform and continue moving forward even when the path changes. Thank you for being part of this journey. This is willing to adjust the beginning of something greater. Life is calling you to remember who you are and live according to your truth. Change. It doesn't mean giving up on what you want.